Welcome. It seems like we were just here.
Welcome to the show again.
Welcome to a Palatino Christmas.
I was just thinking that.
A Palomino Christmas.
Again.
Again. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show, folks. We've just made the announcement on Facebook. That should kick out to everybody. Oh, YouTube. I guess, I don't know, you're sorry for banning us because we won the copyright. Welcome back on YouTube. Yeah, I know. We're back. Yeah, they banned me, the pricks. I still haven't gotten a letter of apology. I sent them a nasty gram. Basically, see if I've gotten an email yet. Not yet. And what I said to them, why did you ghost my removal on the strike? Oh, why did you ghost my removal of the strike and not apologize? You interrupted my stream and left hundreds of other channels up. Why did you do this to my account? And then ghost me like I wouldn't notice. You people have done this for years and I'm done with the treatment. You should be ashamed for suspending my account. The inauguration was free for all and broadcasted over public access. Y'all are a bunch of clowns. Shortly after, Liv, what happened?
We got back on. It just went away.
No strike. What a bunch of jerks. We'll see you in 3 minutes.
Real important message here. If you haven't checked it out yet, you absolutely have to. There is this podcast that I'm sure some of you have seen me on. It's phenomenal. It's called The DUM Show or The Don't Unfriend Me Show. You can find them on all social media at The DUM Show or visit thedumshow.com. Listen to their podcast. Absolutely perfect with host Matthew Spear.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Sorry, we didn't get our driveway plowed, and we never had to do this before. And
Yeah, normally we have one of our neighbors snow blows it for us, but it broke down this morning.
So we're
don't
in a position.
Yes.
So we're trying to figure out what we can do and how we can figure all that out and all that stuff as I push back this TV. Can you help me, honey?
What do you need?
I need you to come over.
Okay.
I need my monitor pushed back because we lowered the camera down to show off my mighty physique, and I've got shadow. We've got from the top of the monitor. Keep going. Good. Thank you, sweet pea.
Welcome.
God, you're smoking tonight. By the way, I don't know. Just thought I'd tell you, smoke show.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hair is all beautiful and lustrous and well lit. Goal for tonight. For some reason, when the goal isn't showing up at night, so we have to do it manually. The good news is if you have a message, you can actually write a message now, and Olivia and I will make sure that it gets said. So if you want to leave a message for the hosts or, say something, just whatever. Yeah, just let us know. So donations tonight are going to have to be manual again because for some reason it's not working. But either way, it will show up. We'll make sure we recognize you. And if you say something, that message will get played. And in the afternoon show, it's actually kind of cool. People would say things and it would pop up.
Yeah.
So not a lot has changed. I know Donald Trump was talking just a few minutes ago, and they had a huge parade over at the Capitol building, Capital One Arena. And I figure we can go and look and see if they're still live. I know they were, and kind of see where the president is at and go from there. Couple quick updates, donations. By the way, YouTube banned us today. We were on the show. We were 26 minutes in. YouTube had like 47 viewers. It was doing really well. And then all of a sudden, I was like, hey, did we just get banned on YouTube? Because people were like, uh-oh. And we looked, and most assuredly, they banned our channel and a whole bunch of other conservative channels for playing the inauguration. Gave us a copyright strike, told me that if I got another one, my channel would be shut down. And they didn't let us play it. So after I wrote a little scather, and it was back on. They haven't given an apology. They haven't addressed it. They haven't said shit. It's unbelievable. And I'm just like, I thought you guys were supposed to be, Jeff Bezos was in the front row and all that type of stuff. And now, whatever. Just start throttling conservative voices again, I suppose.
Of course, why not?
I mean,
just because they can.
So, haven't seen anything else on the parade. It looks like it's no longer live. And it looks like he went ahead and signed some executive orders. And I guess some of the J6ers, what happened? Anybody want to tell me what happened?
I don't know what happened.
Senate unanimously confirms Rubio. All right, well, let's do this beforehand. By the way, folks, first of all, Tommy said that Dr. Lynch and Mike went to his firearms store today. That's great to hear. I'm glad that went well.
Awesome.
That went well. Constitution of the United States of America, you can go to thedumbshow.com and get it 140 pages with all of the amendments, and it's got the biographies of the framers. It has the picture of the Constitution of the United States. Exclusive to the Don't Unfriend Me show, this is not out in stores yet. It's not at the Smithsonian. It's not at the Library of Congress or any of the normal places that you would find these style of books. It's 100% leather. It is gorgeous, and it will be in your family forever. You can pick that up at thedumbshow.com. We have a few left of our original order, so wanted to let you know. Sharon says censorship on YouTube was bad. Yeah, and Sharon, I'm sorry. We got ghosted late and completely unfortunate. But we're back, and we're here.
Yep, we're here.
Overall thoughts, Liv, of what today was like and all of those things. How did you? Well, let's watch the executive order signing, and then
yes,
we can kind of go from there.
Why don't you say what I'm signing?
Sure. The first item that President Trump is signing is the rescission of 78 Biden-era executive actions, executive orders, presidential memoranda, and others. Thank you, sir.
What 78 is that?
We'll find out.
Thank you. The second item, President Trump, is a regulatory freeze, as you announced in your speech, preventing bureaucrats from issuing any more regulations until we have full control of this, the government and this administration. Thank you, sir. The next item, sir, is a freeze on all federal hiring, excepting the military and a number of other excluded categories, again, until full control of the government is achieved and we understand the objectives of government going forward.
Freeze on all federal hiring. Good.
Could you imagine Biden doing this? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Sir, the next item, as you announced in your speech, is a requirement that federal workers return to full-time in-person work immediately.
Uh-oh. There'll be quite a few upset people there, Liv. Hey, Jen McCarver, can you reach out to Olivia through private message or myself through the website, dumbshow.com, and hit contact? Send me a quick email and I'll reach back out to you. I just have a couple questions for you. No big deal. Just wanted to chat with you about it, if you don't mind. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have a directive to every department and agency.
Yeah, I'm sure Trump throws the pens, but I'm just like, I don't know. I'm kind of like, just, have a little class. Just, hang in there. He's going to, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a jerk. I'm probably being a jerk.
Agency in the federal government to address the cost of living crisis that has cost Americans so dearly.
I don't know. I'd probably ask him for a pen. I'm not going to lie. Maybe I wouldn't shout it out while he's signing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just me. But they're excited. They have a right to be excited.
Thank you,
Why
sir.
am I being such a grump?
The next item here is the withdrawal from the Paris Climate Treaty.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
He said we just saved $1 trillion by signing this. Don says I'm jerking. All right, I'm jerking. Fair enough.
We're going to save over $1 trillion by withdrawing from that treaty.
Outstanding. I love that we're out of the Paris Accord. There's meltdown.
Oh, yeah.
And the next item, sir, is a letter that will be transmitted to the United Nations explaining that we are withdrawing from the Paris Climate Treaty.
Yeah, declared a national emergency for the border.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, sir. This next.
Roxanne says, Matt, somebody yelled out asking for a pen. I think that's what the idea is in his head. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. I'm just like, it's the president of the United States. Don't shout at the president of the United States. I don't know.
You know what? That's the tempo he has set is okay for his rallies, and he's technically at a rally, and he seems to be loving it right now.
Yeah, I already said I was being a jerk. I already completely admitted. Listen, that's just the old military came out of me, and I get it. That's everyone is absolutely right. Great opportunity to pile on. I've already admitted I was being a jerk. I probably would ask the same thing I don't know. I don't think I'd have the balls to. Military people, I'm sure they understand. You're right, though. This isn't the White House. This isn't a formalized setting. This is a very relaxed environment, and he's doing it the way he should. So I get it. It's fine. I was being a jerk.
Next item is a directive to the federal government ordering the restoration of freedom of speech and preventing government censorship of free speech going forward.
Okay, people, I got it. Thank you. Already got it. Alex Baller, due to father being adopted, Kinsey. Yeah, fuck you for being a jerk. Yeah, and fuck you for having 3 names like a woman. I know you're joking, and I'm joking with you too, Alex. I like you. You're fine. Just teasing. Just joking. It's all fun and games. I'm trying to add to the jerk montage, you know? But there is something about 3 names here on this show. You'll figure it out. Most of the people who are like the worst lefties in the world all have 3 names. So you might get some shit for that. I was teasing. But Olivia was talking under her breath. Why does this guy have 3 names? I'm just letting you know. She said it.
You know your daughter goes by 3 names, right?
What?
Yeah, she uses her middle name.
That's okay, but she's not crazy.
Depends on...
That's true. She is a little crazy.
And lastly, sir, before we go back to the Oval Office to sign a large number of other items, is a directive to the federal government ending the weaponization of government against the political adversaries of the previous administration, as we've seen.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.
So he throws them out to the crowd. That's awesome. That's the way it should be. Kind of like a rock star.
I guess he's signing more at the White House right now.
Well, yeah, he's got 200 that he promised. That's pretty incredible.
All right, we got a donation.
Oh, okay.
Miss Bobby Richardson, of course.
Miss Bobby Richardson starts it off.
$51.99.
Okay. Did you add all these up?
No message.
No message from Bobby? Come on, Bobby. Be fun. Be fun. What else?
The Kevster, 1080.
Okay.
That's 10.8. And then no message. And that's it so far. 60, hang on, 51.99 plus 1080, 62.79.
62.79. Thank you, Bobby, and thank you, Kevster. Appreciate you too. Sorry, I wish we had a sound effect like we usually do. I mean, maybe I can find something.
Cha-ching.
Do we have a cha-ching?
I have no, I don't think we do.
You did. Oh, here we go. There it is. That works. Every time someone donates, you get a.
Oh
and
gosh.
if you donate a lot, you get a. All right, there you go. So congratulations.
Goodness.
Cute, Matt. Maybe you should write a letter to the president explaining what YouTube and the bozos did to us during his inauguration. You know what? I thought about it. I did. I thought about it. It's not acceptable. Not acceptable. That was the end of the video, Don. I don't have it. As far as making a motion to Q, you know what? I don't buy into that type of stuff. I think a lot of it is just it's just the way things are. I mean, I didn't see it, but it's like people who said that this was a Nazi salute from Elon Musk, and the left are all over this. Watch this. They're like, he did the Nazi salute. No, he's autistic, and he tried to grab his heart and throw it out to people, but somehow it came out like this. And you know, come on, we know what he's doing. Let's stop it, people. Here it is.
And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. And I just want to say thank you.
That's not a Heil Hitler. That's from the bottom of my heart right there.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Right here from my heart to you. Just like, you know, he's awkward. We know he's awkward, but he's not doing a Heil Hitler. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, what?
Did you just see what I saw?
What the hell's wrong with Amber?
I don't know.
Someone ban her.
Yeah, no.
Ban her.
No.
Someone ban her.
No, that factory is closed.
Ban Amber. Whoever it is, somebody give her a 24-hour ban. Amber, we'll see you tomorrow.
No.
You're out of here, grounds. No, don't. I guarantee Ahmad did it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
But
shut up, Amber.
Yeah, no, that factory is closed. No more.
Don, QAnon is this. It's the whole conspiratorial type things of the Q drops and that somehow trust the plan. And Donald Trump has this giant plan, and everybody's in Guantanamo and lizard clones. It's just crazy bullshit. What happens here? The way they're doing it, also defamation, only posing a 2-second clip. Exactly. He's not. Give me a break. People are so stupid. I'm just so glad that this shit gets to be over. CBP. This is amazing. Oscar Blue Ramirez. If I'm not mistaken, he's done a lot of stuff on the border, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he's conservative, and he's been on the show before, not personally, but his videos I put him on. Here's the video, and I think everyone's going to kind of get a kick out of this. Watch this, Libby.
I'm watching.
Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. We are at the port of entry of El Chaparral in Tijuana, Baja California. Next door, it is San Diego, California. This is the port of entry where thousands and thousands of migrants have been entering through the CBP1 app just in the moment when Donald Trump was elected the 47th president of the United States of America. These migrants that they are awaiting here, they had an appointment for the 20th of January, and immediately in their phones and in their application, it said that the application, it is no longer working, and that
Amber says, heart, okay, fuck you, bye. I hope she's kidding, because I'm not the one who sit here and said that Olivia's pregnant.
Kidding.
Better be.
Every single application has been canceled. We have seen also migrants that they have been arriving, that they had their appointment also for the 21st of January, and their appointments have been canceled also.
Sorry.
At this moment, we just received an email that it was sent to us through the application of the CBP1 app, and it told us that our appointment to enter the United States has been canceled, and that our appointment has been completely eliminated, and that we cannot enter the United States under this application.
Whoopsie.
I feel anger. I feel confusion.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know what to do. I don't know where am I going to go.
Go back home.
I cannot go back to Venezuela.
Sure you can.
I cannot go.
What you basically do is, it's pretty simple, is whatever position you're in facing the United States, turn around, you'll be facing south and walk, and you will eventually hit it.
Go back to my country. The migrants continue.
No, don't. What? Dude, it's Amber, guys. What do you mean ban Amber? It's Amber Ground.
We're joking.
She's been here since like God was a corporal. No, we're not going to ban Amber. I don't care what. She's going to take a lot more. Now, if she says Olivia pregnant again, her ass is gone. But until then, no, she's. Yeah. But listen, we don't need a mistake, folks, okay? We already had 2 of them. We don't need 3. Are my kids listening?
Arriving to ask if their appointment it is still going to be on hold or it is no longer acceptable to be admissible into the United States of America. The application has been canceled. Tom Homan, Kristi Noem, and the elected president Donald Trump have kept their word and have already started with what they promised, eliminating the CBP1 app, securing the border, and mass deportations are going to start in the next hour. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News, reporting from the port of entry of El Chaparral that connects to the United States of America in Tijuana, Baja California. Stay safe.
I'll be honest with you. I care about immigration, right? I think immigration is important to the United States. Did people take me seriously? I guess I can't kid. I guess everyone else can kid. I can't kid. I care about legal immigration, and a caravan of 3,000 people coming up. That's mass immigration. I understand asylum seekers. I understand all those things. The border's closed. That's it. Too bad. We're done. And it's, you know what? It might not be those people's fault, but it is certainly the millions who got across and did it the wrong way that ruined it for everybody. So, tough shit. We got to settle some things. We got to deport some people. We've got to make some changes, and then we'll talk. But until then, no.
And if they're going to blame anyone, blame Biden. Because he's the one who caused this mess. He's the one who let just everyone come in unchecked.
Right.
And so that he's the one who gave those people hope that they could just come in. So it's Biden's fault. And yeah.
Yeah, I just don't feel a lot of sympathy for non-Americans at this point. I just don't. And I don't care if you're from Canada. I don't care if you're from France. I just, we need 2 years of just stay the fuck out of the United States for a while, right? Just go away. We don't need you. Just stay out. And I'm not saying our Canadians can't come down and visit and, go catch a football game or find out what a real hockey team looks like or anything like that. But what I'm saying is that we don't want you staying here. We just want you to come down, spend your money, and leave. Just for a little bit, just for 2 years. It's not you, it's us. We just need a little time apart. So you don't have to go home. You just can't stay here because the United States just needs to stop being the dumping ground for the world. And I think just a stay of execution is what we need. A little bit of a reprieve.
Yeah, they can stay in Mexico. They're in Mexico. Right. Stay in Mexico. Let Mexico take care of the issue because Mexico is part of the problem.
Right.
Because Mexico didn't stop those people from coming over their border to get to us. So Mexico can deal with it for a little bit.
Except for Mel Lowe and a few of my other Canadian brothers and sisters. Listen, I love Canada. I love the people in Canada. I have no problem with my Canadian friends. I'm just saying everybody just kind of stay out of the United States for a while. Visit. But none of this, just stop.
Mel's like, I'm going to squat at your house.
You can certainly try. Let's find 350,000 kids. Let's go ahead and deport about 4 million criminals. Let's look at overstays on visas and let's go from there. And then we can have a conversation. Thomas says, sad news, a United States border agent was shot and killed during a traffic stop in Vermont near northern border. That's insane.
Already? What?
That'd be an interesting police tourism that has passes into America. Yeah, that would. We will take Mel Lowe or Thomas or any. Yeah, of course, we'll take Canadian dummies. Of course we will. Listen, when I say something about Canada, it's not just Canada. I just want anybody here. Just let's get back to normal for a while.
Yes.
Jeff Bezos, Sundar Pichai, and Elon Musk are now at the inauguration, and the left are flipping out. Elizabeth Warren is flipping out. She's having kittens, Native American kittens, by the way. They all are Indian kittens. What is she? Apache? Cherokee?
I have no idea what she was.
Seminole? I don't know
whatever the fuck she wants to be.
Whatever she was lying about. Yeah. So here's the video. They're flipping out. They're melting down. They can't stand it. Look at all these billionaires. Well, I've got some interesting news for you. Here it is first. Yes. Yes, pale-faced kitties. So the left is like flipping. Oh, my God. So Elizabeth Warren says big tech billionaires have a front row seat at Trump's inauguration. They have even better seats than Trump's own cabinet picks. That says it all. Weren't these people all on your side like a year ago?
Mm-hmm.
Weren't all these billionaires just like lefties, including Elon Musk? But you're okay with billionaires just as long as they're on your side. Is this going to get any better?
No.
No,
it's not. I mean, the fact that we think it's going to, it's not. Now, it might not be as bad from the regular people, but the libs in power are going to still bitch and moan and cry and scream and freak out like they did the last time he was in office.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Here, before we get to watching what's going on and hopefully Trump releasing some J6 prisoners, let's get to Harry Sasan has come out of the woodwork.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what he says. Yay!
Yeah, he kicked his boyfriend off the top of him and decided to go ahead and have an opinion. Here it is. He's got that fresh, glowing look about himself, like I just pumped the neighbor's cat look. Elizabeth Warren's cats, to be exact, the pale-faced cats. Here is Harry Sasan with his just epic and so fluid, logical deductions about the inauguration. Here it is.
Watching Donald Trump's inauguration speech, so you don't have to. And what a complete and total disaster. That speech was divisive. It was evil. It was lacking substance. I mean, really just awful. And it appears that he declared war on Panama in the speech. I mean, what is this guy doing? He attacked people of color. He attacked LGBTQ plus Americans.
First of all, the President of the United States can't declare war. Only Senate can declare war. So, you impetuous little shit.
The only reason he was divisive is because he said that there's only 2 genders.
No, so divisive.
So he's divisive.
Facts really hurt those feelings. Look, this is a perfect look for him. Hey.
He attacked average everyday Americans when he talked about putting his tariffs in, which are just going to raise costs for every single one of us. He ranted up there about being politically persecuted when in reality, he is a convicted felon.
Who was politically persecuted.
Broke the law, and he's been indicted in other jurisdictions where he also would have likely been found guilty.
No, likely found guilty. So we have the presumption of likely in this. Is it presumption of likely? Is that in the Constitution? Okay, hold on. Let me look up an amendment. The presumption of likely. You're likely guilty, so we're going to throw you in jail. That sounds awful communist, socialist, progressive to me. Innocent until proven. It's hard. Innocent until proven guilty. Guilty. What guilty? Guile as in like. Help me. Innocent until proven. Innocent until proven what? Guilty?
Maybe we should ask the kids.
Let's ask the kids. Hey, kids! So confusing.
Until the time frame, we did get a donation.
Are you sure? Okay, but folks, in the Constitution of the United States, it's innocent until proven guilty.
Guilty.
What?
Guilty.
Guilty.
What is that word?
What does that mean? Guilty. What does that mean? What does the word
guilty mean? We're so confused.
Sloane, what does that mean? Sloane.
Okay, I'm done with y'all.
Come on, Sloane.
You are so mean to me.
What'd you call her?
Sloane. Remember last night when she thought her character was like Sloane? We're like, you mean Sloane?
Oh, yeah.
She's pissed.
I read it really fast. Okay?
Salone.
So she's like, I've been reading this book for 4 years and now I got to start all over. I'm like, what? She goes, I thought my character was named Sloane. She's like, I know 4 people at school named Sloane. I'm like, no, you don't. She's like, yes, I do. And I go, how do you spell it? I'm like,
I finished that book in like 5 hours. I was speed reading.
So she comes back and she goes, show me the name. I said, go get your yearbook. She's like, I'm telling you, I know like 5 people. And I'm like, show me the name. So she opens up the chapter. It's Slone. And I'm like, you mean Sloan? She's like, oh, is that how you say it? I thought it was Saloni. All right, get out of here.
Love you.
Guilty. Innocent until proven guilty. Not innocent until proven likely. Wow. Amazing. Didn't know that.
There was no focus on the issues that matter to the American people. Donald Trump was only focused on himself and his success. That was one of the darkest speeches we've seen in recent American history, and that's saying a lot.
I thought you liked Dark Brandon. I thought Dark Brandon was your hero. I thought you liked darkness. I've heard you like dark meat. Just a rumor. Don't know if it's true. Seriously, I know it's not going to get better. I know that.
Comment on Rebel.
Yeah.
From Brad. Gandhi and Jesus were also convicted felons. Sometimes it says more about the convictor than it does the convicted.
Isn't that interesting? People persecuted who later, Stephen Biko was thrown in jail. They talked about arresting Mother Teresa at times. There have been plenty of people throughout history who've done wonderful things for others, but have been persecuted by the governments or the people in power. So I'm with you. I'm completely with you. Joseph Biden on his final minutes. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, y'all. Look at this.
I can't see it.
I'll read it to you, beautiful. Executive Grant Clemency Y. Hey, Hayden, I got another word I can't spell. Clemency Y. Oh,
Is it gorilla?
Clemency. Sorry, Clemency Y.
It's gorilla. How do you spell gorilla?
How do you spell Clemenkey?
Gorilla is Gorilla.
What about this word, Clemenkey?
I don't know.
Please, seriously, I don't know this word. I need some help.
You think I do?
I think you do. Executive grant of Clemenkey. Can you help me? What is that? What is that?
Clemency?
Clemency. Thanks, baby.
Are you? Okay, I was coming in here to tell you they're changing Minute Maid Park to Deacon Park.
Yeah, we knew that.
Yeah, we knew that about 6 months ago. Thanks, though.
But thank you.
Appreciate it.
Nobody told me?
You know what they're not going to name it? They're not going to name it Sloan Park.
I told your brother that actually watches sports, not just say they watch sports to support the winning team.
Right, or tell a boy that they like the Patriots, but then dump on the Patriots and become a Chiefs fan.
I liked the Patriots.
Okay,
I liked the Chiefs for like 5 years.
Executive grant of Clemenkey. Get out.
Wait, I have a question for you.
Clemency.
My thoughts.
Okay, I'm not getting over the fact that you did not tell me that Minute Maid Park is changing.
Okay, Minute Maid Park is changing.
Okay. Too late.
And your middle name was going to be Sloani, but we decided to give it.
I do have one question for you.
What?
You started liking the Chiefs when you were hanging out with that girl.
Yeah.
Why do you still like the Chiefs?
I don't know, because it was fun watching them play.
Same reason you don't like the Patriots?
What?
Nothing. Get out.
I don't like the Patriots.
Okay.
I never once liked
I have granted you Clemenkey. Get out.
You've never liked the Chiefs either. You're just a bandwagoner.
Oh my God, get out, please. We have a show to do. Leave.
Judy, what was the crowd chanting when Biden left?
Hold on, let me finish this. So, grants presidential pardon. Welcome to having a family on a live show. James Biden, Sarah Biden, Valerie Biden, John T. Owens, and Francis Biden all receive a grant of clemency, a non-limiting pardon. For what? If he didn't do anything wrong, why are you getting a pardon? He did not pardon himself. So I don't know. I don't know, folks. I mean, I guess you can get away with this. But interesting enough, here is... I always love my mashups. Here it is. 3 minutes of Democrats saying that pardons for family are bad. Here it is.
Have you ever heard of somebody getting a preemptive pardon who was innocent of all crime? Who's just an innocent person? Have you ever heard of that? Just somebody getting a blanket pardon and they're an innocent person?
But no, it's the president's own family. It's people that have been covering up for the president in addition to his own family.
Is there an innocent explanation for someone to seek preemptive pardons for family members? Would you do that if you knew you were innocent and just worried about outside forces?
The answer to that is going to be...
Okay, where do lefties shop for their glasses? Like, is it literally just find the most obscure Harry Carey, looking glasses on the planet, and who can look the dumbest? I mean, seriously, I don't understand the fetish with wearing Jackie O style glasses or something from Austin Powers.
No. If you haven't done anything wrong, you sit there and go, what do you need a preemptive pardon for?
If he pardons people preemptively, he's essentially telling the public that these people have committed crimes. And we may not be aware of what they are, but the pardon is clear evidence that crimes have been committed.
I imagine if he decides to issue these preemptive pardons, it will be cast in a way that he is protecting his family and protecting their reputations from, villainous exterior forces that are against him.
First off, we should just take a deep breath and acknowledge the audacity of a president who's so clearly concerned about his own criminal culpability and that of his family members, that pardons are a major obsession with him.
The idea of a kind of prospective pardon, this sort of permanent federal get-out-of-jail-free card, that seems to be what we're talking about in the case of this, right, with Giuliani and his 3 eldest children who, as far as we know, have not been convicted of a crime. Maybe they've committed a lot, and they don't want to face action. I don't know. It's weird. I wouldn't ask for a pardon. I don't think I deserve one because I do
shop at the same place as everyone else.
But where does that come from? That concept that you can just kind of wave your magic pardon wand.
We have Tish James. We have Xavier Becerra. Mimi Rocha is literally...
Dude, and Homeboy has put on 25 pounds in a year.
Who is
He is just a lefty commentator.
My DA in my town, there will be opportunities to prosecute these people regardless if they abuse the pardon power as they are thinking.
Hopefully, Ellie, there will be a skyfall on this entire crime family, and there will be another day for them to die.
His name is Ellie Goulding.
Got it.
The president.
Come on. You didn't fall for that.
I did fall. No, I didn't fall for it. I saw his name was Ellie something.
Ellie Blackling.
Does indeed pardon, let's say, Rudy Giuliani or any members of his family. Would you see that, and I asked Preet Bharara this question, as essentially an admission of guilt?
I certainly would view it that way. I think millions of Americans would view it that way. If there was no belief in criminality, why would he think a pardon was necessary?
CNN has learned President Biden.
Whoopsie. That almost sounds familiar. Folks, we'll be right back to put in a donation or two and then watch Donald Trump signing some more executive orders, possibly the J6ers, if I think that's what's happening, and I think it is.
The DUM store is veteran-owned with a 5-star diamond rating for service and satisfaction. We offer quality products like coffee, shirts, hoodies, and hats, all made by veterans. Shop with confidence, backed by hundreds of 5-star reviews. Use code DUM10 to save 10%. Visit thedumshow.com today. Thank you for your support.
Yes, they can still be civilly suited, and they can face state charges depending, but that's going to have to be more than likely Delaware or wherever, possibly Philadelphia. It civilly is maybe possible. We'll have to see how it goes. Honestly, I just want to move on and get America back. Donald Trump taking out the trash, folks, with executive orders. Here's a video. There it is. See ya. Folks, we have some donations to talk about. Olivia wants to go ahead and share with us. Olivia, go right ahead, please. Walk us through it.
2110 from Keith Baker. He says, what a glorious day. Thank you, Matt, Olivia, Leroy, and Amy, for what you do.
You're welcome.
And that's
Mr.
it.
Baker. Is that it? 2110? Where's our total at?
8389.
8389. Thank you so much. Good to have everyone helping donate. Mr. Baker, thank you for doing that. Trump J6. Wait, I know I got the video, guys. I got it. You just have to understand I can't play it live when I got something else going on. I got it for you. I just trust. I'm getting the whole thing going on here. It's like, it's good. We got you. Yeah, let's watch this.
So this is January 6th. These are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon.
Yes.
Full pardon.
Full pardon or commutations?
Full pardon.
Wow.
We have about 6 commutations in there where we're doing further research. Okay. Nice to see you again. So this is a big one. Anything you want to explain about this? We hope they get them. We hope they come out tonight, frankly. They're expecting it. Approximately 1,500 people.
Wow.
6 commutations.
What does that mean?
We're looking at different things, but the commutations would be the ones that we'll take a look, and maybe it'll stay that way, or it'll go to full pardon.
And the order does require the Bureau of Prisons to act immediately on receipt of the pardons and commutation orders. Sir, this is an
Why don't we get that down so they can get them going right now?
Yes, sir.
Is that okay?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. This is a proclamation guaranteeing the state's protection against invasion based on the current crisis at the southern border. It invokes various executive powers relating to the ongoing invasion at the southern border.
So quickly, a commutation is really essentially taking the sentence and removing the sentence and any penalization that came with that sentence. For instance, you got to spend 20 years in jail. It does not remove the charge, but it removes the sentence. So it would be essentially time served or a reduced sentence. So, for instance, Joe Biden did not pardon those criminals who committed murder and who are on death row. He commuted their sentence, essentially giving them life in prison. So he reduced the sentence. A commutation means that these people are going to lose the charges against them, more than likely is what it sounds like. And a pardon would be to have it expunged, removed from the record, and essentially remove the conviction. 1,500 people will have the conviction removed, whether that would be a misdemeanor, felony, or whatever. And it sounds like 6 are commuted. I don't know if he commuted some of the Proud Boys and the biggest offenders. I'm very interested to find out. I certainly agree that most, if not all, needed to be released. And as time served, there are a few that I absolutely feel should not be released in any way, shape, or form and deserve what they got. That is certainly not all, and it's not even the majority, but there are quite a few who I believe, specifically the people on the stair set, the people with Ashley Babbitt, the people who coordinated this, and there was a plethora of evidence that they did. Those people need to be held accountable. But this is Donald Trump's power. He has the right to do it, just like Biden had the right to do it. And even though I disagree with Biden's decision to pardon 9,000 people, I can't say that I disapprove of pardoning most of the J6ers, minus the ones that were truly felonious in their actions. Liv?
Can J6ers sue the past administration and who is still in office in the committee?
This pardon pretty much is a get-out-of-jail-free card. It allows them to remove this, and suing would then go ahead and open this back up for litigation and possibly countersues, and just leave it alone. Get out, write a book, make a Netflix special, host a podcast, do the lecture circuit, do something. Do I believe that the United States government, remember, a pardon doesn't declare innocence. It simply removes the conviction, a full pardon, and the sentencing. It does not say you were not guilty. Although it will remove it, they were found guilty of these things. So there it is. What else?
That was it. That was it.
Did you find out?
What?
Did you find out about the pardon, who it covered? Who were the 6 commutations?
No, but I can't.
All right, let's listen. I'll find out too. Let me listen to this.
Okay.
Roxanne says, "Can I make friends here?"
We're watching her right now.
I know. You certainly can, but if you are a person fishing for credit cards and Social Security and all that, no, you may not. And we'll find out. So just post a couple more things and let us know.
It invokes various executive powers relating to the ongoing invasion at the southern border.
Bill, what he said was that he is pardoning 1,500 with a blanket pardon, which is a full exoneration of the J6ers, and 6 of them will be commuted sentences. More than likely, the sentence will be reduced to nothing, and they will be released on their own recognizance, more than likely. However, commutation means that there could be probation. It means that it's not stricken from the record. It's not expunged. It means that it's still, they are guilty, but their sentence is fully served. Bill, I'm going to get it to you in a second of how many people were and were not. Hang tight with me.
Question.
Yeah.
If a criminal conviction is what a pardon removes, what value does a pardon have when there is no criminal conviction?
What? Oh, I see what you're saying. So there's 2 very different types of pardons. There is a preemptive pardon, which is essentially saying anything from this day forward and this date, if any charges are brought, you can't. Then there is a blanket pardon, or something that exonerates, which is saying that they are pardoned, their sentence is commuted, and although they are guilty, they have a commuted sentence. Then there is a full pardon, which is the commutation is included, that their sentencing is revoked, but also that the crime itself is expunged and removed from their record. So very different.
Mel had a question.
Yeah.
Does that apply to the ones being held without bail and have not had a trial?
It depends. I don't know of anyone who is in that situation. But if they are being held under the domestic terrorist policies, those are completely different than the standard habeas corpus and rights that all Americans receive. That is what is so egregious about what took place. Okay, any questions?
Nope, that's it that I can see, that
Okay.
I saw. So
Okay, I'm going to find out more information on the J6ers while we watch this.
Okay.
Mr. President, let me feel confident that those are not going to be blocked by the courts?
I don't think they will. I don't think they can be. They're very straight up. Why don't you take that and go over here? Could you get him over here, not on the side angle? Do you mind? Just go right over here with your friends. Okay?
Sir, this is an executive order realigning the United States refugee
somebody to
admission.
move.
Blocked by the courts?
I don't think they will. I don't think they can be. They're very straight up. Why don't you take that and go over here? Could you get him over here, not on the side angle? Do you mind? Just go right over here.
So one of the things is that these are federal crimes. And the President of the United States has every single right to dismiss and pardon federal crimes. The courts will not oversee this. They will not overrule this. There is no way to overrule this. Now, if there are any state charges that were brought up on this, that is a completely different story and most assuredly will be overturned by the state Supreme Court or Supreme Court of the land. These are removing federal charges. So if any of those people have state charges, those are still going to stick. Very, very important for those of you to understand this is that the president cannot dismiss state charges, okay? Most of these, though, the states partnered with the federal government and their overall crimes were elevated based upon a federal indictment. So the states basically handed their overall necessary state charges to the federal government to tack on to the federal charges. Does that make sense? And if they were convicted on those by the federal courts, which they were, those the charges would also be negated because they were rolled up into federal charges. Does that make sense what I just said?
Kinda.
Livy.
Yes.
I'm a state. I have rights.
Okay.
Certain state laws were violated from J6ers. Let's say communications that took place in Arizona were broadcasted to the East Coast, and those crimes were, seditious conspiracy from the state. There was also some sort of trafficking charges from taking place to one point to another that was related to J6. Okay. Okay. So the state has that. Then they showed up in Washington, D.C., and the federal government charged the same people who were in those states in Arizona with charges that were federal. But in order not to charge them from the state and then charge them federal again, what they do is they roll the charges from the state up into a federal case.
Got it.
Then they are tried by the federal government via the state's charges and the federal charges combined. Usually what happens is it's not separate charges. Those charges get rolled up and increase the overall crime, or whether it's a first degree, second degree, whatever felony. Okay?
Got it.
If Donald Trump pardons those federal crimes, the states have no ability to dispute or challenge those because they chose to take their state case and roll it into federal charges. However, if the state has charges that are pending, or the state charged those federal crimes before the Fed got to them, those state crimes cannot be pardoned by Donald Trump. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good. Okay. Does everyone get that?
Yes. I see several questions.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Are there any J6ers that have not been pardoned? I'm getting back to make sure.
We're going to find that out. This is brand new, so let's listen, and we'll learn more if we listen. Go ahead.
Okay. Is it true that D.C. police were ordered not to assist for inauguration festivities?
Some were, but most of the police in D.C. did assist, but there were several states that refused to send help. Predominantly the states we would expect: Minnesota, Michigan, et cetera, et cetera.
Got it. What is Fauci being pardoned for?
Fauci is being pardoned for anything that is brought up related to the time that he served in the federal government. Anything. It is a preemptive pardon. It is a blanket immunity for anything he did that was against the law. I know. That's why it's so fucked up. Okay?
Yep.
Donations? Are we any?
We're good.
Okay. Folks,
I figured he was just being pardoned for being an asshole, but
that's close enough. That would be the flip side of what Bragg tried to do to Trump, Matt. I don't know what that means. We talked about a lot of things. I don't know. DC is not a state. Did I call DC a state? I know DC is not a state.
I don't think you did. Maybe it's for, because you're talking about states. So they were in D.C. How can state, how can they have state charges?
Because there were things that they did inside their state before they got to D.C. that broke the law.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
They could have taken firearms over state lines. They could have taken people, you know, into several people in the car to Washington, D.C. who were not willingly ready to go into this J6. They could have purchased or committed seditious conspiracy through electronic means in the state. Those are state laws that they broke. So the state can bring a case. In some of those federal cases, the states brought cases against people. That's my point. He cannot clear state charges. He can't do that.
How many years did he pardon Fauci for?
Great question. We're going to have to find out. I don't know the answer to that question, but I'm assuming that it is a retroactive pardon. We're going to find out. God, I appreciate all you guys answering. This is what I love. I love this shit. I don't have the answers to everything, but we're going to get it for you. Let's watch this.
Just go right over here with your friends. Okay.
Sir, this is an executive order realigning the United States refugee admission program to better align with American principles and American interests.
Okay.
That's a long signature.
Thank you, sir. This next executive order is about protecting America from foreign terrorists and other national security and public safety threats. Again, crisis at the border, but it goes beyond that.
So it looks like in an extraordinary move hours before leaving office on Monday, President Biden was issuing pardons to retired General Mark Milley. Biden said the preemptive pardons were needed because of threats to unjustified and politically motivated prosecutions. The issuance of these pardons should not be mistaken as an acknowledgement that the individual engaged in any wrongdoing, nor should the acceptance be misconstrued as an admission. So it's a protection against their oath of office. So if it was oath of office, it would be when Fauci applied his oath of office, which would have been in 2014, I believe. So if he re-upped in 2014 under Obama, which I believe that's when Fauci did it, it would be from 2014 to 2024 or 25, January 20. So my guess for Fauci is it's from 2014 on, because that would have been his current oath for his position. So that's what I believe.
All right, we got donations if you'd like to.
Sure, let's do donations real quick. Get those in there and we can answer some more questions.
Ashley Gleason, 25, says, appreciate you guys.
We appreciate you, Ashley. Thank you.
And Miss Jane Bush says, every time we score, 1150 is what she said.
Oh, thank you so much.
120.39 is where we are at.
120.39. Jane, Thank you. Ashley, thank you both so very much. Means the world to us. Thank you for your donations. They help us keep going. Let's listen to some more until we have some more questions.
I think TikTok is not their biggest problem, but there's big value in TikTok involved.
And now, where are you planning to go now?
Well, I don't know. It's necessary for international security. You have Russian boats all over the place. You have China boats all over the place, warships. And they can't maintain it.
When are you going to be talking to Vladimir Putin?
Who?
Do you plan to meet President Putin, sir?
I'll be meeting with President Putin.
When do you plan?
I don't know. I can't. It's being set up.
Your first trip foreign that might be, sir?
So first foreign trip typically has been with UK. But I did it with Saudi Arabia last time because they agreed to buy $450 billion worth of our product. I said, I'll do it.
Now, listen to that. That's very interesting because remember, if you follow back just about a year and a half ago, Saudi Arabia and the petrodollar disassociated itself from the American dollar. And that is very, very important. I believe one of Trump's moves will be to reinstate the petrodollar in Saudi Arabia, and I would expect Saudi Arabia to want to do that. The relationship with the Biden administration was very sour, and I believe that Donald Trump understands that Saudi Arabia and Israel peace is going to bring peace to the Middle East. And in order to do that, he has got to kind of go bring the proverbial bone to Saudi Arabia. And the petrodollar is probably going to be one of the things that he would do. If I was geopolitically involved with Donald Trump and their administration, it's something that I would absolutely recommend.
$50 billion worth of our product. I said, I'll do it, but you have to buy American product. And they agreed to do that. They bought $450 billion. It was the least reported story I've ever been involved in.
And now, where are you planning to go now?
Well, I don't know. If Saudi Arabia wanted to buy another 450 or 500, we'll up it for all the inflation.
Mr. President, you say you were going to end the war's first day. How do you plan to end the Ukraine war?
Well, we're going to try and get it done as quickly as possible.
Do you want to push Israel and Saudi Arabia?
It should have never started. You know, the war with Ukraine and Russia should have never started. It would have never started if I were president.
Will you push Israel and Saudi Arabia to normalize relations?
I don't think I have to push them. I think it's going to happen, but maybe not quite yet. But they'll end up being in the Accords, the Abraham Accords.
President Trump,
I think Saudi Arabia will end up being in the Abraham Accords.
This year?
Could be, but soon.
I agree with him completely. So that just leads me to believe right there. You go to Saudi Arabia, you say, Saudi Arabia, this is what we're going to do. We're going to guarantee about 7% of your oil productivity, and our purchase power is going to go to Saudi Arabia. No matter how much energy independence we have, we are going to consistently buy Saudi oil. We are not going to go to South America or any other countries to buy oil. We will buy it exclusively from you. What you need to do for us is one of two things. From a global market, you need to stabilize the Middle East so prices go ahead and fluctuate to a positive number across the world. By doing so, you joining the Abraham Accords like intended will go ahead and bring peace to the Middle East, will give Israel a platform, and will understand that a lot of these terrorist groups and proxies will be impotent in their design because of the unification of Abraham Accords and most of the Middle East with Saudi Arabia and Israel. Second, by doing so and bringing that stability, which will make you more money in your oil productivity, we want you to go ahead and join the petrodollar again and enter a 50-year agreement like you did back in the day when we moved from the silver certificate and gold certificate and moved into the petrodollar for the value-based economic tie to our dollar. Do that, and here's where we'll be. That would be a stellar result. And you get Saudi Arabia back to where we need them, which is happy with the United States. They own a lot of our debt. We don't need them glad-handing with China. We need their presence in the Middle East for the Muslim population. They keep the Shiites, the Sunnis, and the Kurds in line, and they keep Iran and Iraq in line as well. So that's what I would see. I'm sure Trump and his team, much smarter than I, will come up with that idea on their own.
My, what is that all about?
First, we have Alaska, sir. This is an executive order relating to unleashing Alaska's potential as an energy reservoir for the entire nation.
And what about ANWR?
I believe that would be included in aspects of the order.
So we're opening up ANWR.
On the TikTok piece, President Trump, you and your members of your team now used to warn about the dangers of TikTok spying on Americans. What changed that you're not worried about that anymore?
Well, it depends on the deal. I mean, I may not do the deal or I may do the deal. TikTok is worthless if I don't approve it. It has to close. I learned that from the people that own it. If I don't do the deal, it's worthless, worth nothing. If I do the deal, it's worth maybe $1 trillion, $1 trillion. So if I do the deal I'm talking about doing it for the United States. If I do
TikTok is not worth $1 trillion. I'm not going to argue with Donald Trump. It may be $1 trillion over 10 years' time in advertising revenue and everything else. It may have potential to hit that. But truly, U.S.-based users are only around $160 million, and that equates to average PPA of $11. You're looking, depending upon a lot of different factors, you're looking about $86 to $90 billion for TikTok from a U.S. perspective. Globally, it's upward between 130 and 160 billion worldwide. He's right. Without U.S. backing, TikTok becomes essentially worthless. But it's not worth $1 trillion. That's a misspeak.
Talking about doing it for the United States. If I do the deal for the United States, then I think we should get half.
The TikTok CEO.
In other words, I think the U.S. should be entitled to get half of TikTok. And congratulations, TikTok has a good partner. And that would be worth, could be $500 billion or something. It's crazy. The numbers are crazy. But it's worthless if the president doesn't sign, then it's worthless. If the president does sign, it's worth maybe $1 trillion. So I think, like a joint venture, I think we would have a joint venture with the people from TikTok. We'll see what happens.
I just want to put this in perspective. TikTok is not 40% of what Apple's valuation is, and it's certainly not what Exxon is worth. It's certainly not what X and Tesla and Elon Musk and his overall portfolio is worth. TikTok is not worth $1 trillion in any market, in any facet, in any situation. Potential revenue also included. It is not $1 trillion. I just want to make sure people understand what we're saying here. It's worth a lot. It's not worth $1 trillion. That's pretty much it. And if you go look up the value of TikTok, it's not even close to $1 trillion.
People from TikTok. We'll see what happens. I mean, that's one of many ideas I've had.
The CEO is down. Did he say that he's open to that idea?
Who?
When the CEO of TikTok is around.
Oh, I think he'd probably like it. Because he's got nothing. I mean, they really have nothing. It's passed in Congress. It gives the president a right to make a deal or to close it. And we have 90 days to make that decision. But I could see making a deal where the U.S. gets 50% of TikTok, polices it a little bit or a lot, depends on them. But remember, they make telephones in China. They make all sorts of things in China. Nobody ever complains about that. Here they're complaining about this. There's so many different products made in China, and nobody ever complained about it. The only one they complain about is TikTok. And TikTok is largely young people. I guess I have a warm spot for TikTok that I didn't have.
So it looks like Enrico Tarrio, who was sentenced to 22 years, supposedly the head person who put the most boots on the ground in January 6th, is going to be released. So there are several people who were severely sentenced with their involvement and culpability in J6 who are going to be released. This is a huge decision by Trump. As I felt that the blanket lawfare and injustice that took place to some of these people, trying them all in the same light with the same mentality was absolutely wrong. I think that's wrong. I think doing blanket pardons for the entire group simply because J and 6 are included is also entirely wrong. I don't agree with this decision. It's not my decision to make. It's the President of the United States, and he has done that. And I have to assume that he has better line of sight than I do, but I have read a lot of these testimonies, a lot of these cases, and the evidence, and I think that there were some very bad people who did some very bad things who should be spending a very long time in jail who aren't. But I also think that Joe Biden commuting sentences for death row inmates, they should be put to death. And I thought that was wrong too. So my opinion matters little. I'm just letting you know how I feel. I think some of you agree with me, some of you don't, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. We can disagree. That's what's great. What I do think is awesome that Donald Trump's in, and that 98% of those pardons I agree with. But there were some very bad people that I don't agree with. And Enrico Tarrio is one of them. Liv?
Is there a way to restrict the TikTok challenges to be safe, or would that be a free speech violation?
I think people will do stupid things no matter what you do. I once got a lighter and I tried to light my farts on fire and I burnt my ass hair tremendously bad. We all do stupid things.
Or like E walking on the freaking ice.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Did Biden pardon Bill Gates?
I did not see that. No.
Okay.
No, I did not see that.
Okay.
TikTok, and I won young people up by 36%, Peter. And Republicans typically don't do too well with young people, but it's a different Republican Party.
Would the U.S. government buy a portion of TikTok then, or how would it get that 50%?
No, you'd take 50% of TikTok for the approval that TikTok could continue in business. And they'd have a great partner. The U.S. would be their partner. But the U.S. essentially would be paid for doing that half of the value of TikTok.
Would there be a private sector owner as well?
Could be, yeah, could be a lot. Tell you what, every rich person has called me about TikTok.
You wanted to block TikTok. Why did you change your mind?
Because I got to use it. And remember, TikTok is largely about kids, young kids. If China's going to get information about young kids, I don't know. I think, to be honest with you, I think we have bigger problems than that. But you know, when you take a look at telephones that are made in China and all the other things that are made in China, military equipment made in China, TikTok, I think TikTok is not their biggest problem. But there's big value in TikTok if it gets approved. If it doesn't get approved, there's no value. So if we create that value.
We were talking about this last night with TikTok, is that these kids are setting themselves up for absolute failure when they become adults based upon possible blackmailing and stuff that they don't want released that China can have, private conversations. Maybe there's sexting involved, or maybe illicit drug conversations where they get a clearance and, you know, the background of the SSBI does not uncover these things and they get the clearance. China has it, and China starts blackmailing some of these people who hold clearance. Folks, there are millions of people who work for the United States government, and a clearance is pretty much required for everyone in the military. And federal employees have to pass even the most basic of clearances. Even people who work in the food industry inside government buildings in the Pentagon have to pass clearances. Patriot America, which is a great shop that I have a couple shirts from and some coins from, every one of their employees has to have a background check done and have to hold a clearance. So it's really important to understand is that the future generations, as everyone, I think Greg Gutfeld said this last night, we were all teenagers. At one point in our life, all federal employees were teenagers. And to have access to this information that can possibly be used for blackmail or extortion is very concerning. And I get it. I understand why they want to ban TikTok. I think banning TikTok is a mistake. I think it's against freedom of speech, and I think ultimately having a U.S. investment in the company and a majority share is a good thing. I don't think it stops China spying on us. So we have to figure out how to limit the exposure of our youth and our future generations from putting information like this and trusting social media companies with our futures. I think it's very dangerous. And we're already seeing it in our generation. We're seeing it, you and I. People would look at this show and look at Facebook and make a decision based on my employment. These decisions have consequences. I'm 50 years old, and this job is different than what I did for many years of my life. But I would never get a clearance again. I couldn't get a clearance. There's no way. With the things I've said on here and the things that I've done here, so I think people need to understand it's very dangerous, that we need to look at how the information is collected, how it's stored, and how it's disseminated. Because right now it's to the highest bidder. And that's fine unless that bidder is nefarious in their purpose or a hostile government who is trying to hurt American citizens. You know what I'm saying, Livy?
Mm-hmm. All right. There's an email that we just received at 8:16 p.m.
Is this?
From YouTube. Hi, Matthew Spear. We reviewed the DUM show live, the inauguration of the 47th President Donald J. Trump again, and confirmed it doesn't violate our community guidelines. We put your content back on YouTube. Thanks for your patience during our review. We're committed to keeping YouTube a safe place for everyone, and sometimes we make mistakes. Fuck you, YouTube.
Fuck off, YouTube.
Yeah, a little late.
And you banned my first account. There was nothing wrong with it either. So you guys do this all the time, and you're still going to ban my account. I will have another strike within the next 2 weeks, and then I'll have a third one, and it'll be over.
Yep.
So this is just what they do. They're horrible human beings.
All right, we have some donations if we want to.
Sure, yeah, I want to get those in.
Sec.
Yeah, let's get those in, and then we can talk some more. First of all, it's great to see so many people on right now. Seeing that we've got 80 plus on Facebook, which is nice. 16 on YouTube. Good to have you back. 87 on Twitter. How many have we got on Rumble, babe?
Looking 72.
Good. So that's pretty good. In network, we've got I don't know, 230, 240 on. That's pretty good after what we did today. What are we at with donations?
All right.
What did they say?
CJ Jenkins, $10.80.
Thank you, CJ.
Said, I cannot thank y'all enough for what you do. Awesome coverage on President Trump as always.
Outstanding. Thanks, both.
Miss Mello, this is for the CDN Squatter Fund.
Bam.
$51.99.
Thank you, Mel.
For the Squatter Fund.
Mel, you're the best.
And then Lori Rogers, thank you all, love the show.
Is that new? Lori's new?
I don't know, maybe.
I haven't seen that name. Is it RODGERS or ROGERS?
ROGERS.
Yeah, I haven't seen the name before.
$41.69. Total of $224.87. Thank you all for the donations. We
Thank you,
appreciate
everybody.
it.
Thank you so much, guys. You rock star.
And then there is a question off topic.
Yeah.
Matt, off topic, but how long have you had that Avs hat? Mine is Dommy, old since Winnipeg.
This one's old. Like, I don't even know how old. How old do you think?
You know, I don't know. You have so many hats.
I mean, this was in the ocean. I mean, do you remember this? How long I've had this thing?
No, I mean, if you've had it before we got together, you've had it for 26. Holy shit. You know what I just realized?
It's our anniversary.
Yeah, 26 years together on the 16th.
That's when we had sex. That's our sexiversary.
Yeah, but still, it's when we decided we
Folks, we got to go.
live in.
Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. I got to go take my wife into the bedroom.
26
See
years.
ya.
I totally forgot.
Get naked.
This is what happens when you've been together as long as we
It's like,
have.
whatever. Who cares?
We totally both forgot our 15th wedding anniversary. It was in 2017, and we both forgot it.
Yeah.
So, but hey, 26 years. Congrats,
This is old. God, my hair. This is old. I don't know how. See, the color is not the burgundy. It's more of like the soft red. And that's the old Avs logo. This is old. This hat is old. Old. Olivia Spear can ask Matt about it. Ask me what?
About what? Let me look. I gotta look at the thread. There's a thread. Hey.
Just ask Amy to find out what it was. Let's watch.
Yeah, Amy, can you let me know?
Yeah, let's watch this.
If we create that value, why aren't we entitled to like half?
Thanks, Thomas.
Sir, if you don't have 90 days, will you shut them down?
Does Biden ever do news conferences like this? How many news conferences, Peter, has he done like this?
Like this?
None.
0.
Underneath.
And it would be 0 for the next infinity. For infinity, it would be 0.
Mr. President, when you plan to talk to President Musk, going to help implement the executive orders? I think you mentioned implementation.
Elon, no. Elon's very busy sending rocket ships up to various places with lots of satellites on them.
What is your reaction to the confirmation of Marco Rubio, and what does it mean for Latin America?
Which one?
Marco Rubio.
Marco Rubio. You said Marco
Rubio.
Yeah, I think he's great. I think
Marco Rubio was confirmed. Sorry, forgot to tell you guys that.
Marco's doing a fantastic job. I think he's going to get a lot of votes. I think he's going to be at 90% or something. I mean, I'm hearing very good. People know him. They know him in the Senate. They know he's good. He's doing a good job. I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know what's going to happen with that. He's got some very strong ideas, though, Marco.
You signed the TikTok order, right? Did you sign the TikTok order?
Yeah.
Yes, that was just signed.
President Marco Rubio's ideas is
Just signed it.
How many
still changing Venezuela, changing power. Are you still committed with Maduro leaving power in Venezuela?
Well, we're going to find out about that, too, because we're going to probably stop buying oil from Venezuela. We don't need their oil.
Another embargo like
There's part 3 of what I just said. So it's all coming together. I would expect a announcement with the petrodollar here shortly, a committed buy to Saudi Arabia. Just remember, you haven't heard that anywhere. Nobody. I've been saying that for, 9 months? Nobody has said those words. Just remember that, Mr. Trump, when you're looking for somebody to help with the State Department. Thanks.
another embargo like the first term?
Well, it could be, but we don't want to buy. We don't have to buy their oil. We have plenty of oil for ourselves. So
President Trump.
That'll change Venezuela quite a bit.
President Trump, there was a lot of concern about this during the campaign. A question that only works today. Are you a dictator on day one?
No. I can't imagine even being called that. No, I believe in the sanctity of the vote. The Democrats didn't because they cheated like dogs, but I believe in the sanctity, and this was too big to rig. This last election was just too big to rig.
Mr. President, when do you think
really the opposite.
When do you plan to speak to President Putin?
Could be very soon.
And you talked a bit about Ukraine and Russia, but how long do you think it would take to end that conflict? And
I have to speak to President Putin. We're going to have to find out. He can't be thrilled. He's not doing so well. I mean, he's grinding it out, but most people thought that war would have been over in about 1 week.
Some of us didn't. Thank you very much. Right here, also news you heard for the Don't Unfriend Me show that told you that Ukraine would, and probably the only person that said that they would hold indefinitely, you heard from this show, as long as they had proxy from the United States. Please remember the things. It's not about bragging, and it's not bragging if it's true. Thank you, Lori.
Making him look very good. Now, eventually, I mean, it's a big machine, so things will happen, but I think it'd be very well off to end that war. We have numbers that almost 1 million Russian soldiers have been killed. About 700,000 Ukrainian soldiers are killed. Russia's bigger, they have more soldiers to lose. But that's no way to run a country.
What did your TikTok order do, Mr. President?
It just gave me the right to sell it or close it. Essentially with TikTok, I have the right to either sell it or close it. And we'll make that determination. And we may have to get an approval from China too, I'm not sure. But I'm sure they'll approve it. And if they don't approve it, it would be somewhat of a hostile act, I think. But it's good for China if it gets approved.
Mr. President, you're not guaranteeing that TikTok will be around after 90 days from today?
No, but it could very well be. It makes sense for it to be, because it's got tremendous value. But if we create the value by approving, in other words, that approval gives it tremendous value. If that's the case, then we should be entitled to 50% as a country.
So I want to make sure, there seems to be a question in chat about water rights in California.
That was the question that said Olivia can ask you.
Got it. Listen, don't ask me. There's just certain things that I've read, but that's not true. There's no such thing as water rights when it comes to or owning water, right? So you're saying like 60% of the water that flows into California is owned by one person. That's not the way it works. It is a framework system. And a lot of them are distributed and owned by a managing company, but more than that, 80% of that water goes into agriculture. There are plenty of other companies like ASRIC and others who use that money for hotels and water distribution and purification and things to that effect, who own the rights to the water coming in, but they don't own the water. They don't own the aqueducts. That is handled by the state of California and distributed equally amongst agreements by the state. So to answer your question, the largest is like 80%, which goes to ag, and then it's divided amongst other groups. But predominantly, that 60% number is a misnomer because it's an ag company that distributes to the agriculture subsidies in all over the California state. So a farm in Oxnard, a farm in Santa Paula, a farm in Chico, a farm in Bakersfield, a farm in Tarzana, a farm in Huntington Beach. There's no farms in Huntington Beach, but you get my point. So it's not. No, there's not one person who owns 60% of the water. That's not the way it works. Okay, but there is a large agriculture company which owns most of the water rights, which is different. Okay, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
50% as a country.
But yes, yes, it needs to change. In fact, the entire state of California should ensure that they have some sort of water management system to store the water and the excess water that they have. This is the problem. It's not that California doesn't have enough water. They have too much water, and they dump it out into the Pacific Ocean because they don't have the means to store it or don't store it like they should. This creates money. This creates problems. This creates purification. This creates management. It cleans chlorine tabs and fluoride and everything else that they put in the fucking water. And this costs millions upon millions of billions of dollars annually for California to store this water versus just go ahead and dump it and buy more. That is, unfortunately, they need to make it too expensive. They need to put California on a limit of how much water they can possess. based upon free flowing and stored. And if they follow this, and they follow this processes, then they're good to go. But if they exceed their overall annual budget of water consumption, then they are taxed heavily and severely. You need to start punishing California for using more than their quota and their anticipated spend. That is how you fix California.
All right, let's call it a joint venture.
It's not kind of like owning the water. It's such a weird thing to say, Paul. Owning the water would mean that I am allowing the water to come in, and then I am charging an additional price for that water because I own it. That's not what. That's ownership. Or I'm storing the water, and you have to pay me some sort of stipend to get that water. Water rights are saying that you are going to be allocated a certain amount of water for your farms that you possess, and it will be distributed to your farms based upon the rights that you own. It's like selling a yield in ag. You know, we're going to have, 400,000 bushels of this, and we are going to distribute it to 17 different food producers and distributors across the United States. They own the food rights, but they don't own the food, and they're not turning around and just selling those rights again to somebody else. They have the rights to a commitment which is agreed upon at a certain price, which is negotiated by the state. It's not the same thing as owning the water. Because if they own the water, they can shut the water off. If they own the water, they can reroute it to another state and sell it to a higher price. That's not what they have. They have the rights to the water that comes in that California estimates, and then they redistribute it to the ag companies. That is different than owning the water. Okay? I understand where you're coming from. I explained how you should do it. The part that is truly destroying California is their inability to store the water properly. They don't own the flow of the water. That's not, the state owns the flow of the water, Paul. That's wrong. State owns the flow of the water. They own the water rights. The water that comes through on an annual basis will be proportionately distributed among the companies who bid and get that money for whatever reasons they would, whether it be Resi or whether it be .gov or an EDU or an ag. That is different than owning the water. Because if they don't pay, they don't own it. That's like saying you own your house when you rent it. You don't. You don't own it at all. You're a rental. And once you stop paying, you're out. Same thing with water rights. You don't pay, you don't get that water. You do not own the water. Sorry, it's not the same thing. But that's what they do. They dump it in the Pacific. They don't store it. They don't keep it clean. They don't collect runoff. This is California's problem, is because they believe it is cheaper just to buy water than it is to manage and store water. That is why you need to allocate them a certain amount of water annually. And if they exceed it, you tax them heavily. And this would come down to Colorado, Arizona, and wherever else the Colorado River, maybe Utah as well, distributes water into California. Those waterways, those states would receive more money. That's what you do. You make it less expensive, more expensive to buy water than it is to maintain the water you currently have. And if you do that, then California will not only consume less water because they won't be doing a constant runoff situation and restocking, they will actually have reserves, which benefits California. It benefits their dams, it benefits their lakes, it benefits them from an energy perspective. But right now, it's cheaper just to buy more water.
Why are they not using Pacific Ocean to put out the fires?
They are. They weren't at first because those rigs are not, the hydraulic systems aren't built. They're built for freshwater. So they brought in seaplanes from Canada. They brought in some seaplanes from Israel. They brought in some seaplanes from overseas as well. They have East Coast and northern states that do a lot of wildfires. They brought in, like Washington and Oregon, brought in seaplanes that are specifically designed to bring in saltwater. And they are most assuredly using saltwater planes right now. But you also understand is that you don't want to be dumping salt water to a huge degree. You don't want to be putting salt water on vehicles and machinery equipment and things like that.
And also plants
and
stuff like that.
Salt the earth.
It's going to, It's the growth back. It's going to be bad.
Now, if that was an open brush and an open field, screw it. I would dump salt on it all day long, and they are. You don't want that shit growing back. You know what I mean? So I'm not arguing that California is doing anything right with their water. I'm trying to tell you what the truth is. This is the same thing with the XL pipeline. Is Fox News told you that the XL pipeline, the Keystone pipeline, was shut down and it put us in an energy crisis and our gas went up? That's not true. It's a complete fucking lie. In fact, the Keystone pipeline is still running. This is the Keystone XL, which was going to take tar sand oil, which is a highly crude, highly toxic oil that the United States can't even produce and clean. And they were going to ship it out of Houston and go ahead and distribute it on the tankers overseas to process this oil. Yes, it would have saved us some money. Yes, we would have had some great trade back and forth because a lot of these companies that process this oil, that's how they make a profit. So they don't have any need for, clean energy and clean gas. They make their profit off of tar sand oil and cleaning it and reproducing it for something else. That did not kill the energy crisis. The energy crisis was simply because we started buying more than we were producing, and the leases that we were putting out to oil farmers was half drained, half tapped, non-productive leases that essentially just hamstrung them. And the oil reserves was used to stimulate the low price on gas. And when we stopped stimulating, prices would go back up, as we saw right before the election. There are so many different things that we did, Biden did, that completely screwed energy prices. Doesn't salt water mess up the pH level in the soil? Yes. That's why they call it salting the earth, right? It talks about in the Bible. You don't salt the earth. I don't remember this, but I thought this was something in the signs of end of times, was it not? Was it locusts and plague and eclipses, and the earth would be salted, nothing would grow? You guys have to help me. My biblical IQ is not as strong as some. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. Once again, I'm not arguing with you. I'm not saying California does it right. I'm just letting you know they buy up the water and sell it off. No. This is just like buying crab quota in Alaska. They buy the crab quota that they're going to catch and may distribute it to the fleet for them to go out and catch that quota, but they're not reselling it to them. That quota would be distributed back as profits. These companies own these ag companies. This company owns the ag company, and they're distributing water based upon their purchase. They own the water they buy. They don't own all the water. It's water rights are different than owning all of the water. The intake, the flow, the aqueducts, the storage, the filtration, that is not owned by one person. Okay? Can't explain it any better than that. It's just like buying and renting a house. Renting is not ownership. Okay? Okay, good. We're all good?
Matt, will our new DOJ go after Antifa and BLM?
If they break the law in this administration, they most certainly will. Do I think they'll go after them in the past? I don't think so. I think Donald Trump is going to look forward. I think Donald Trump signing a law that says you can't politicize the DOJ, it didn't say you can't politicize Republicans. It said you cannot use the DOJ to politically go after your opponents. I think that stands for him too. I think they are going to have enough corruption uncovered during his administration that they don't have to worry about the stuff that's happened in the past. I think they can do clean slate and say everyone gets a clean slate and go in there and look at emails and look at briefs and look at indiscretionate spending and cover-ups and everything else, and have enough to future-proof Washington. I think this is going to be a very active DOJ. This is going to be a very active alphabet agency once it's cleaned, and I think there will be people who will be prosecuted based upon their actions currently and in the future. That's my belief. Okay? We good?
Yep.
All right, let's watch the rest.
Nobody ever thought that way before. Well, I don't know. I think you have a lot of people that would be interested in TikTok with the United States as a partner.
Mr. President, what was it like walking into the Oval Office this evening?
Oh, what a great feeling. One of the better feelings I've ever had.
Do you like this town better now than in 2017?
Well, we're very experienced now. You would say nobody's ever had experience like I have. I've dealt with some very good people. I've dealt with some very bad people, and I know who the bad ones are and the good ones are. You know, don't forget, I was very successful in primarily the real estate business. And people used to say, who's worse, a politician or a vicious real estate developer? And I'd always say, you know, the real estate developer is far worse. But after about 3 months and getting to know scum like Adam Schiff and other people like that, I said, no, actually, real estate people are quite nice by comparison.
You said you plan to speak with President Putin soon. What about President Zelensky, and what's your message?
Yeah, I would, but he's told me he wants to make a deal. I mean, he wants to make, Zelensky wants to make a deal. I don't know if Putin does. He might not. I don't know. He should make a deal. I think he's destroying Russia by not making a deal. I think Russia's going to be in big trouble. You take a look at their economy. You take a look at the inflation in Russia. So I would hope. I got along with him great, and you know, I would hope he wants to make a deal.
Mr. President, are you keeping U.S. sanctions on Russia until he makes a deal?
Well, sanctions or tariffs. I think the word tariff is much better because it keeps you down.
Jared says, I haven't listened to a whole lot of inauguration speeches, but out of all the ones that I've ever heard, Trump is the best. And I'm not saying that because Trump is my uncle. I'm saying that because it was one of the best inauguration speeches ever. Yeah, all of that's wonderful. Trump's your uncle. Yeah, all of that other stuff is like, wah, 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 Trump's my uncle, wah, 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 wah. Can you please address, Jared, I've known you for how long, and you're going to tell me that Trump is your uncle? Is that a term like, you know, I don't know, my brother's uncle? Is that what it is?
I don't know.
I want to find out. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. The whole show stops. Because if Trump is your uncle and I have not had Trump on and you're a fan of the show, I am very confused at what the hell you're thinking. Exactly. Because if you are related to Donald Trump, can you please explain to me why he has not been on my show? And why you have not literally turned this show into a skyrocket to Mars? I'm still waiting, Jared. Tell me it's tell me it's a euphemism like England, like Bob's your uncle. And Bob's your uncle.
We could do our donation, you know.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's Bobby again.
Bobby!
Because I love you guys.
Oh my God, this woman.
$51.99. Total is $276.86.
276.86. Thank you for hitting our goal, Bobby.
Thank you very much.
Jared
Bobby
says it's just a comment. Okay, it's like Bob's your uncle. Got it. Okay, I was just going to say, Water Banks in Kern County is not owned by the Resnicks, the wonderful corp. They store water in surplus here. They are on a board in the water bank, but don't own it. Yeah, Kern County is very different. Kat, yeah, I don't know if you knew this, but we were in Bakersfield, so that's yeah. Well, Kern County is actually somewhat based. Crime is horrible, but yeah, here it is.
I think tariffs are more effective. I mean, I use sanctions on Iran. Iran was broke. When I left office, Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, none. They were flat broke. And October 7th would have never happened. And I think you all know that. It would have never happened. They had no money. Now they're rich, but, you know, they're weakened in a different way. I would say that the one attack by Israel really set them back. It really set them back. The Pages, and others. You know, the attack on air defense was a bad attack for Iran.
What are you signing now, sir? It's an executive order relating to reforms to the federal workforce, including to the senior executive service.
We're getting rid of all of the cancer. I call it cancer. The cancer caused by the Biden administration.
How confident are you, Mr. President, that you can keep the ceasefire in Gaza and conclude the 3 phases of this deal?
I'm not confident. That's not our war, it's their war, but
apologize.
I'm not confident, but I think they're very weakened on the other side.
Do you support the 2 states?
Gaza, boy, I looked at a picture of Gaza. Gaza is like a massive demolition site. That place it's really got to be rebuilt in a different way.
Do you plan to help rebuilding Gaza?
I might. You know, Gaza is interesting. It's a phenomenal location. On the sea, the best weather. You know, everything's good. It's like some beautiful things could be done with it, but it's very interesting. But some fantastic things could be done with Gaza.
How do you see the future in governance for Gaza?
Well, it depends. I can't imagine you could have, well, you certainly can't have the people that were there. Most of them are dead, by the way, right? Most of them are dead. But they didn't exactly run it well. Run viciously and badly. So you can't have that.
Mr. President, on TikTok, sir, do you pause any decision on Chinese tariffs until you know what the resolution on TikTok will be?
No, if China didn't approve it, we could put tariffs on China. Don't forget, China charges us tariffs, and we charge them very little, except for what I did. I put a lot of, we took in hundreds of billions of dollars. But until I came along, China never paid 10 cents to this country. They ripped us off, and they never paid anything. But like, if we wanted to make a deal with TikTok, and it was a good deal, and China wouldn't approve it, then I think ultimately they'd approve it because we'd put tariffs on China. Maybe. I'm not saying I would, but you certainly could do that. And if we said, well, if you're not going to approve it, then that's a certain hostility, and we'll put tariffs of 25, 30, 40, 50%, even 100%. And if we did that, I think they'd approve it.
President Trump.
Folks, we'll be right back. Quick announcement, and then we'll be right back to talk about the Constitution, and then we're going to button it up. We've been on the show, I think, like 6 hours today, so we appreciate the donations. We hit our goal, always wanting to overdrive. If anyone is looking for some last-minute donations, let us know. And please write something clever so we can go ahead and put it on there.
Join WimKen.com, the social media platform built for free speech and true connection. No censorship, no algorithms controlling your feed, just genuine conversations and a commitment to protecting your rights. Sign up today at WimKen.com and take back your voice. Tell them Matt and the Dumb Show sent you.
If you guys haven't had a chance, the Constitution of the United States is one of the most important documents in our history, along with, obviously, the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights. This is what separates us from other countries. A lot of countries have a constitution, but they don't have the checks and balances that we have. And as we were seeing, that is a prime example when the American people get together that we can make change. And Donald Trump is most certainly doing that. 200 executive orders. But the Constitution of the United States is where these powers lie in. And if you find yourself wondering, well, I'm wondering what the president's ability for pardons looks like. I'm wondering what the preambles say, or I'm wondering what the ratifications that were made, why? And if they want to overturn an amendment, what does that look like? And if they want to go ahead and ratify an amendment, what does that look like? All of these things can be found. And whether it's in Article 2 to find out the qualifications of the president, or the disqualifications of the president, or the 25th Amendment, or quartering of troops, or the 10th Amendment reserve powers to the states, all of it can be found in this book, in the Constitution of the United States, for a wonderful $54.99. You might ask, why is it $54.99? Well, first of all, it's expanded. It's 144 pages. It's a 9x6 book. It is leather. It is not pleather. It is a beautiful bound book in a beautiful dark navy blue, which there's no such thing as a light navy blue, but whatever. Gold inlay along the front, and biographies in the back of all the framers and everyone responsible in the Declaration and the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. You also have a few other things like this section, which has pictures of the Constitution in its glory, full color. So you can see the Constitution of the United States. 144 pages, beautiful book. You can get it for 10% off at using code DUM10, DUM10, to get 10% off this book. And we are shipping it now. We have sold out almost completely. We want to make a second purchase. We are the only ones that have it right now. You can't find this in the Library of Congress, the Smithsonian, or anywhere in Washington, D.C. You guys know that there's plenty of little shops that you can go into, the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Memorial. We can go in and you can buy a copy of the Constitution and a book that's very small, looks like this, like the Documents of Freedom. Can't get this one. This one is exclusive to the Don't Unfriend Me show. We were the first show to get it, and we have a great relationship with this company. We made sure we did with our Documents of Freedom books. Go pick it up. I'm telling you, you won't be sorry. Add it to your collection. We're going to watch a few more minutes of Donald J. Trump, and then we're going to go because Olivia and I have earned it, and we're tired.
Mick regular season was just suspended 3 games.
Oh, shit.
It's hard.
Good. He deserved it.
Yes, he does.
And the Avs lost tonight. Son of a motherless. All right, here we go. Hello, computer.
And I think they'd approve it.
President Trump, you've seen the other living presidents a couple times in the last few months. If you ever had to call on one of them for advice about anything that's going on here, which one would you call?
It's interesting. Well, I thought Bill Clinton was a very good politician. I don't think he was used properly. I think they disrespected him. When Hillary was running, he came back and he said, you know, you better get up to Michigan and Wisconsin. You remember that, Peter? Every house has a Trump sign on it. And they all laughed at him because the Republicans hadn't won Michigan or Wisconsin for decades, long time. And they all laughed at Bill Clinton. Like, the hell does he know? And he turned out to be right because I won both of them. And then
listen, I don't like the Epstein accusations on Clinton. I think he is a sexual predator. I'm not a fan of his personal life. But I will tell you, compared to Joe Biden and Barack Obama, Bill Clinton was a fantastic president. And the one thing that he did that I disagree, besides his philandering and sexual assaults, which is most surely what they were, which is enough to disqualify saying he was a good president, but he wasn't a very good person, was what he did with the bases. And I thought it was absolutely ridiculous how he gutted the U.S. military and then passed it off as saving and budgeting the deficit and the overall annual spending of the United States government. That's bullshit. But he was a good president, and I happen to agree with Trump. Your thoughts, Liv? Do you remember Clinton when you were 4?
No, I was much older.
I know you were. You were like 10. Yeah.
No, wait. He was elected in 92?
Yeah, so he was
12.
Yeah, 92 to 96.
No, 2000.
What did I just say?
96.
Yes.
It
was 92 to 2000, 8 years, yes. So
yes.
You were...
I was 12 to 20.
Yeah. So you remember Bill Clinton?
A little bit. I remember my social studies teacher in 7th grade. I don't remember if somebody asked her the question who she voted for, but I remember her saying... I do regret it now, though, because she voted for Clinton.
Yeah, see, Clinton wasn't that bad. Matt, Olivia, opinion on Obama, Michael splitting?
Did they actually come out and say they're splitting?
No, they haven't, but everyone thinks that's what's happening. What do you think?
I mean, for her not to show today and Obama showed, that sure shows...
Yeah, there's something
there's something going on there. Something's not right in the Obama household right now.
Yeah, maybe he is sleeping with too many homosexual cooks, and he can't take them all out in kayaking accidents.
I don't know, or maybe she's just trying to distance herself from all the politics, and she's just done with it all.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Michelle Obama being out of the spotlight. Yeah.
I don't know.
Listen, I honestly, I don't enjoy the Michael stuff. I don't think she's a transvestite or transgender. I don't buy into any of that.
She is a woman, and hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
This proves that she's a woman.
What?
This proves.
And you know what? She probably could be holding some animosity towards Trump for dismantling her husband's legacy as president.
I don't think she gives a shit about the legacy.
I don't know, but I don't know. We got a donation though.
Oh, okay. Let's go ahead and do that. Put that in, then we'll finish the rest of this. I think call Pop Smoke.
It was Paul Rivera.
Okay.
Today is a new day. Was 103.48. Thank you
God.
so much, Paul.
Dude.
It's 380.34. Thank you
Paul,
very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you so much, guys. That is such a huge day for us, and that really, really helps. And we just love y'all. We can't thank you guys enough. And people are like, oh, you beg for donations. You know what? We really don't. We talk about it at the first of the show, and then we kind of leave it alone and let people just, we might remind you a little bit because it gets distracted. But people at the end always help out. We love you guys. We can't thank you enough. You make it happen. And people always say, well, when you make it big, we've made it big. This is big enough. We're very happy with this, and we love the fans that we have, and we love that we're growing. And the fact that we've got 240 on right now is a good thing. Here's next few minutes, and then we're going to Pop Smoke.
Right, because I won both of them, and then we just won both in this election, too. We won Wisconsin and Michigan and every other swing state. We won all the swing states, all 7. They talked about 7 swing states. We won them all. So, but Bill Clinton he had a great political sense, I think.
You looked like you were having a good conversation with President Obama at President Carter's.
I was. And you'd like to know what it was? Oh. Everybody wants to know. I know, I wouldn't want to, but we were having some crazy conversations. Why do you asking a question like that? I don't think you want to know. You might not. You might be insulted.
It's an executive order relating to holding former government officials accountable for unlawful disclosure of sensitive information. This next one, sir, is a declaration of a national energy emergency.
So you also
That's a big one. You know what that allows you to do? That means you can do whatever you have to do to get out of that problem. And we do have that kind of an emergency.
President Trump, at some point will you use your powers of the presidency to tell Americans who are concerned about drones?
Yeah.
A few weeks ago.
Yeah.
What exactly
I will.
Can you tell us now?
In fact, I'd like to know because I just got here.
What do you think?
I just came here. I've been here for, 15 minutes now.
Do people listening, because this is going out live.
And I got to read this letter, too. Because of you, I found this letter.
I can read it for you.
It's interesting. Yeah, I know you would. Your father would, too.
But is it anything, these drones, is it anything that people need to be worried about?
No, I think it's terrible. I would like to find out what it is and tell the people.
And can you commit to some kind of...
In fact, I'd like to do that. Could we find out what that was,
Tom.
Susie? Okay? Yeah, why don't we find out immediately? I mean, I can't imagine it's an enemy or there would have been, people would have gotten blown up all over. Maybe they were testing things. I don't know why they wouldn't have said what it was. They had a lot of them flying over Bedminster, which is interesting, right?
And with the events today and yesterday, was everything moved inside just for cold weather, or was there some kind of security concern?
No security. Because they had everything shut down to drones. You can shut down.
Bullshit. I just let you know bullshit. I'm sorry. He doesn't listen. Trump doesn't lie, but Trump he plays his cards close sometimes. I'm telling you, it was security. Everybody knows. Everyone in this business knows it was security. Come on.
And pretty easily if you're sophisticated. They're very sophisticated, these people. No, it was just cold weather. And we made a good move because, first of all, I thought it was incredible in the Capitol today. You know why I liked it? Because I got great reviews on that speech. I got great reviews. Can you believe it? They actually were fair.
This is
maybe the fake news is changing.
Unleashing energy production.
Yeah, unleashing energy production. But I thought it was, I think having it in the Capitol is great. It's obviously, you can take care of the people you have to take care of. The city was booming. And if we would have done it outside, people would have been hurt because it was really cold. It was looked sunny. But when you stood outside for 10 minutes, people were running back in. It was really cold and really windy.
It was very
The
cold
wind
today.
brings it down a lot. So we made the right decision. You couldn't have stayed. I don't think you could have had it out. You know how cold it was today. It was, people went out for a little while just to test it. They couldn't stay out more than 10 minutes. They all came back in. So we would have had a disaster.
Olivia will tell you, well, Fetterman had shorts and a hoodie on.
Today?
Yeah.
I didn't see him.
Oh, yeah. Fetterman had shorts and a hoodie. I got the video, but trust me, he's walking, he's out for 10 minutes, is walking in shorts and a hoodie. You got to laugh. But remember, I used to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not anymore. No, sir. I used to be able to walk out in like a T-shirt and a pair of freaking board shorts and flip-flops in 20-degree weather, and I was fine. Not anymore. This old man has broken down. I don't have that capability. Listen, we could do this all night. I know some people actually alluded to that and said, geez, I wish we could continue to do this tonight. I do too. But alas, where there is a beginning, there is most assuredly an end. We'll go out like we always do with 1 minute. And Olivia, just putting your thoughts together from today. I know this was a very big concern for you. I know that you were really worried with Biden in office, and especially for the kids. How does this?
It's a big relief. It's a big relief that I know the day is not over, but at this point, I am pretty assured that nothing is going to happen at this point. So I'm happy that this day is almost over and everything and everyone is safe. So that makes me happy. And I'm just relieved that I have hope for our children's future now. I was a little worried that if he didn't get elected, what our kids' future was going to be like. Yeah. I was terrified, especially Hayden, because she's going to be graduating high school right before the next election. So yeah, but I've got hope now. Everything's great. And I'm very happy that there are only 2 genders now. Makes my day.
This we can
Makes my day. Hayden was trying to tell me something about he'd signed something for homeschools or something like that, but we had to come in, so I didn't hear
I'm going to have a list for tomorrow, and we will put them all on here and go over all of them and the highlights.
Yeah, because going over them would be nice.
First of all, thank you for everyone for liking the show. We have a whole bunch of people who liked, and I think people are learning to do that because it does help. And Twitter people, thank you guys. Whatever it takes, please follow the show. You guys are awesome, and we love you. It's nice to see so many people from Twitter on here. For me, this is like when I was watching the singing of what were they singing? God Bless America?
No.
America the Beautiful?
That one?
Coming of the Lord?
It was the Navy thing.
I know, I can't think of the damn thing. Glory Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Right, whatever. But it's not called that. It's Hallelujah, isn't it? Doesn't matter.
I don't know.
Everyone knows what the hell I'm talking about. The Shrek song. And so to me, seeing the armed forces there, and a lot of people, kind of sent me DMs afterwards, and they said, hey, I know, Deborah, isn't it nice that we got YouTube? They admitted they were wrong. They apologized. Fuckers. I didn't cry because the song, it's not particularly one of my favorite songs. And it wasn't that the branches of the service were singing it, although that was very, very cool to see my Navy midshipmen and officers and enlisted people singing. I thought that was great. Battle Hymn of the Republic. Thank you, Tom. I think what it did is I think I was crying for Trump. And if I met Donald Trump, I mean, it's not like I would just bow down. I'd shake his hand like I'd shake anyone, an admiral or head coach or hockey player or CEO. I've met some pretty powerful people in my life, and I don't think I would feel small in front of Trump. I truly felt for him. And he can say some stupid shit, and he's done some stupid shit, and I don't care. That's politics. But I don't think anyone should be destroyed because they want to serve their country. I don't think anyone should be destroyed because they have an impassioned belief that America is the greatest country on earth, or could be. And I don't think anyone should be tarred, feathered, and quartered simply because we disagree with that person. And I think we became callow. And we became petty. That devalued American beliefs, ideology, and what we stand for. I kind of felt ashamed to be an American for the last 4 years, for the first time in my life. Iran-Contra, or check writing scandals, or .com bubbles, or senators sticking their dicks where they shouldn't be. Wars where hundreds of thousands of Iraqis were essentially genocided, where we gave up 21 years of our soldiers' lives to fight for an Afghanistan war, which essentially is status quo, exactly where it was when we left it. I was never ashamed of our country. I was never embarrassed to be an American. And between 9 and 11, where I was never prouder to be an American, and I loved my country where I was willing to die for it again, I was seriously considering from 2020 to 2024 that this is a country that I didn't want to die in. And I didn't want to retire in. I didn't want to leave my family here. because I was so ashamed of who we were. And not that Donald Trump restored all that today, but to see him put America first and get back to common sense and challenge what we all know is there, and to hate it, and it is a hate that he has, a disdain and loathing for the corruptibility of men, the weak facetedness of their ineffectual leadership he despises. And although he's not perfect, and he's done things that I'm sure bend or break the law, there is a difference that he doesn't deny his own shortcomings, and these people pretend that they are our leaders and their moral equivalency of some sort of omnipotent being. And truly, they are just as fallible as us, and they pretend they're not. I love that he doesn't pretend he's something that he's not. And I wept because I think that this man has been through so much for doing so much that he didn't do. And I'm just glad to see it over. And I know that there'll still be liberals on my page tomorrow and chastising and calling me a Trump tard and, you know, a fucking white oppressor and Nazi. And that stuff doesn't bother me. It's literally to see that the man crawled through a river of shit and came out clean the other side. To me, I think it's just a story of rising from the ashes and perseverance. And it deserved some emotion from me today, and it definitely encapsulated a lot of emotion over the last 4 years. I don't know why I put that in words. I just felt that it was important to say so because I truly felt it, and I don't think I've allowed myself to be affected over the last 4 years of all this shit. And today, letting it go felt really good. That's it. Too deep? Okay. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. Liv, your cat is dead. Behind you. Did she just give up trying to love you or what?
No, I put her up. She's climbing this chair and she can hole in this leather.
She's ruining my leather chair.
Mm-hmm. She won't jump anymore. So she puts her paws up here and then pulls herself up.
Wow. All right, folks. Tell them when we're going to see them next, Livy.
You will see them tomorrow. I think Leroy will be on, I think.
Maybe.
And yeah. So.
See you guys tomorrow.
7 o'clock.
Sorry, I'm just a little tired. It's been a long
day. I'm tired too.
We're leaving you alone. Folks, thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. Stop on by, get a shirt, get a hat, get a coffee. Go get yourself Constitution of the United States. Thanks for taking care of us. Thanks for being with us all day today. 7 hours on. It was worth every minute of it. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Good night.
Night, y'all.
And take care of each other. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.